Hey, aloha everyone. Michelle Melendez with Blossom Inner Wellness and StandTogetherHawaii.com. And I'm here again with Captain Matt Dankin. He has been a firefighter for 30 years and he's a retired fire captain. And we're going to be talking about not only what's happening in North Carolina, but also the official narrative. They just put out the official narrative of how the Maui fire started. And it is absolutely, in my opinion, absolutely pathetic. Matt, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate the opportunity to give my 2 cents because I watched that video yesterday after over a year of everybody kind of waiting to hear what happened. And I was disgusted, having not been there, but just from everything that I've seen, and for them to come up with that report to me was just unbelievable.
Yeah, so absolutely. Let me just show, we'll start there. We're going to start someplace else, but we're going to start with the Maui fire. And this is actually, let me make sure that the sound is on here. I do want to share with you guys, this is the official narrative of the Lahaina fire. So let's just look here. The 12 minutes that we're going right here, 12, it goes in 12:10 before they actually start to share the official narrative. And this first 12 minutes is them congratulating themselves and being such great investigators and talking about how great they all are. And then this is the captain that comes up, and this is what he shares about the fire.
Hopefully this orientation proves helpful when you read the report. We also, of course, will take this opportunity to provide a high-level summary of the report's principal conclusions. They are as follows. The destruction of much of Lahaina on August 8th, 2023 was caused by a single fire that started at 6:34 in the morning. The fire was caused by re-energization of broken utility lines, resulting in sparks igniting unmaintained vegetation at and surrounding utility pole 25 off of Lahaina Luna Road. This hypothesis was overwhelmingly supported by the data, and all initially plausible alternatives were considered and excluded. While it was initially plausible that there were in fact two fires, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, while investigation left this possibility open, hypotheses were considered, and clear conclusion by investigators of both MFD and ATF were that this, in fact, was one fire. This one fire proceeded in two identifiable phases. The morning phase continued until fire crews left scene at approximately 2:18 in the afternoon. Throughout the nearly 8 hours MFD was on scene during the morning phase, a significant number of resources were deployed to this fire, even as MFD attended to multiple other emergencies, including lines and poles down all over Lahaina town. At that time, all available indications showed that the fire had been fully contained and extinguished. However, at approximately 2:52 in the afternoon, what's known as a rekindle event took place in the gully adjacent to the existing burn area. A piece of smoldering material hidden in the unmanaged vegetation in the adjacent gully was fueled and reignited by a severe wind event, and the fire resumed with disastrous consequences.
I think I want to pause there for a second and just stop share. So they're saying this investigation group is basically saying that it's just this one fire, and these firefighters did say that it was out, and he said it was rekindled. Now that is a possible thing, but they've skipped the majority of what happened that day. Wait, what are your thoughts on that when you first saw that, Captain Matt?
Yeah, no, I don't think people care how it started. It would rekindle, or it would blaming it on unmaintained vegetation. I don't think anybody really cares how it started. Fires can start from accidents, and they will all continue to start from accidents. It's not how it started that people care about. I think people care about why was the water shut off? Why were they blocked from exiting? Why was it so devastating? Why were the conditions so off the charts, where you had boats that were burning offshore? I mean, all these things. Why were bodies charred from the inside out? I think these are questions that people want to know. To have over a year-long investigation that was such a thorough investigation that they had to shield the public several miles of barriers that you couldn't see, you couldn't take video, you couldn't photograph anything because it was such, was it a crime scene? Is that why they were doing that? For all that and what they did to the people by excluding them from their property, keeping them from their property to come up with, oh, it was started from a single fire from sparks from unmaintained vegetation. I mean, to me, that is just unbelievable. These are public servants that are supposed to serve we the people. And if I was somebody that lived there, I would be really, or had a house burned down, I'd be really upset with this for what they did and how they handled it, and for the lack of transparency of everything that goes on. Why don't they address? There's been so many people that believe, for good reason, that this was more than just a fire, that it was an attack, just like they believe Paradise was an attack and other fires were attacked away because they were so devastating. They need to address that. Which public official is going to be brave enough to even bring that up, to say, look into it? You know, were you contacted? You were all over the internet with your frog that burned from the inside out, you know, and other dogs and bodies, dead bodies burned from the inside out. Has anybody contacted you? Do you know anybody that did an investigation on those?
Absolutely not.
That's, to me, why are they excluding that out of the investigation? This fire burned like no other fires have ever burned in the past, other than the last decade or so. So why aren't they investigating why anything that was painted blue or that was blue didn't burn? Why are they not addressing that? Why are they just, why didn't you say, hey, it seemed weird. Yeah, we looked into it and it was what there were some things that were blue that did burn. It was just kind of a coincidence. Why don't they say that? Why don't they address these things that people are concerned about? These are public servants, and that to me is just, to me it's just a total slap in the face. And unfortunately, you know, until we have people that are strong enough, with a strong enough backbone, that realize that we're all under attack and we need to speak up and speak out. It has to come from the inside. We you know, we need our public servants to speak up and ask questions when they see things that don't seem right. And unfortunately, you will see what happens after what's going on in North Carolina, but I'm afraid it's going to be the same thing. A lot of patting on the back and yeah, what a great job. And there's video after video going around right now about what's going on and people being threatened, being arrested for trying to help save people, and unbelievable. So sorry for going up, but that's
yeah, that I absolutely agree. I mean, they're such, they spend 12 minutes talking about what great investigators they are, and they don't say, and the reason why we put a $2.3 million dust screen around 5 miles around the Lahaina is because blah 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 blah. And the reason why we didn't have we had a no-fly zone with no drones, no airplanes, nothing was able to allowed to fly over Lahaina was because of this. And the reason why we had these military and cops stopping people, not allowing media in, not allowing people to take pictures, and harassing people if they stopped and threatening them that they would be arrested if they took any photographs, is because this is why. You know, they don't mention any of this, and the reason why palm fronds didn't burn, but cars melted with the glass melted, is because this is why. So if they're such great investigators, why aren't they answering this question? And the reason why the fire went in the opposite direction of the wind is because this is why. Because we're such great investigators, we looked up all of these anomalies, and I'm going to put a plug in for my book, because this is a Great Maui Land Grab, 23 fire anomalies in this book, and you can get it at greatmauilandgrabbook.com. But this is that you're right about being a slap in the face, because these people, the homeowners, were not allowed in their home for 3 months. For 90 days, they were not allowed back to their property. And after a year later, right now, in this present moment, Lahaina is still blocked off. The only people who can get into Lahaina are the people who live there with the placard that has their address. And when they're stopped by the guards around Lahaina, when they're stopped, the guards say, don't take pictures and no video at this current time. over a year later, they're still saying that. Why is that? Why is that, firefighter? So that whole thing that they shared was absolutely a slap in the face. And I do want to do a screen share about what is happening in North Carolina right now, because here's what the president said. And remember, and I'm going to do one more stop share. Remember that in Lahaina, the death toll went from 115, dropped to 97, then went up to, and it finally finished at 102, 102. This is with 3,000 children at home by themselves, with no warning system, with no evacuation. They were actually blocked off. There was one way out, and that was being blocked off. But is that normal, Captain Matt, for the death toll to go from to drop 115 to 97? It dropped. Is that a normal thing?
It's not normal. Mistakes do happen. We have different agencies counting and everything. So I really can't speak to that, what went on. It would be nice. I mean, you hear it from people that are there, how it seemed like a lot more people would have perished, would have been lost. And it seems like, you know, I know a lot of them were undocumented or whatever, but it sure seems like there's got to be a way to be able to account and do a better accounting, especially if there were more, if there were a couple hundred or a few hundred that actually lost their lives. It sure seems like there got to be a way to you know, come up with that, with a list of names or whatever. Even if, so I can't, I'm sorry, I can't really speak on that. Yes, it's not, it's just for the devastation I saw, that'd be shocked. It seems so shocking that so few, only 102 people died, if that was actually the case.
Yes, so. And let me show everybody this before we get into North Carolina. This was on the let me bring it down here so people can see. Oh, let's see here if I can bring it down. Anyway, this is from Hawaii State. There we go. Hawaii State Department of Education. This was the data as of August 21st, 2023, the enrollment for the children, the enrollment for the students of Lahaina Luna Complex. There in August 8th, the enrollment was 3,001. Then on August 21st, the student enrollment, the re-enrollment was 538. And then the students who enrolled in the state distance learning program was 438. That leaves 2,025 children. And so the remainders who have not re-enrolled in another public school or opted for distance learning was 225. Sorry, 2,025. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because this document can no longer be found. It was actually screenshot by a friend of mine who was worried that it would be taken down, and it was taken down. We cannot no longer find that. But did 2,000 children, did they, because again, they were left home, school was out, there was no school that day, and they were left home. So did 2,000 children and their families go off island with in 2 weeks after the fire, or did they opt for a different school? It's not, you know, who is to know? And also the thing with the numbers, there were many undocumented people in Maui, because there are a lot of undocumented people work for the hotels, and the only people they were counting as deaths were people that they had first and last name of the person who is missing, and first and last name of the person who was sharing the information. So a lot of undocumented people are not going to go in and talk, you know, and share their information. But I do, on that note, I do want to share what is happening with, actually, let me get this up here. What's happening with the president and what he said about the numbers. And actually, let me make sure that the screen is, the sound is on, and here we go. Okay, good.
It's tragic. Matter of fact, we're trying to get the exact number. My FEMA advisor is on the ground in Florida right now. There's a distinction between the numbers that FEMA's used and the ones that are used by the locals. So it really is amazing. You saw the photographs.
So even the president here, he's saying the numbers the FEMA has and the numbers of the locals are not matching up. And he has not gone over to North Carolina as far as I know. And this is the other one I want to share. And this guy is talking about how the same thing happened with Maui. In Maui, they were not letting the rescuers in. The actual people who basically saved Lahaina residents were people who came in on boats with supplies onto the beaches, and that's how they got supplies, water, and food. But this is what's happening again in North Carolina.
There's no military. There's no one's doing nothing. It blows my mind. And they're not even allowing people to see what's really going on. One of our friends yesterday, they were actually escorting CNN down at Lake Lure, and they wouldn't even let CNN, the sheriff department would not let them go videotape the bad areas, how destructive it is. I don't know why they don't want to show you all that, but I mean, it is bad. I should also say,
This is gonna be a commercial. So I'm just gonna do I'm gonna keep going with that a little bit, but I'm gonna take the sound off so you don't have to listen to that. But again, same thing that's happening. Well, we'll just leave it at that. Same thing is happening over in North Carolina right now. So we are under attack, like you said, and I just have to, I keep thinking, what can we do? Let me, yeah, there we go. What can we do? I have to believe that there's something that regular people, because it feels like we're up against a wall when the officers, there was another story about a helicopter pilot who was dropped off the wife, was going back to get the husband, and he was told if he went back, he would be arrested. And why he didn't go back, I'm just like, go back anyway, who cares? Because if you take that to court, there's no way they're going to win. They can't tell you what to do. You have freedom for a reason. They're being dictators for that. They can't tell rescuers you can't help somebody. That's against the law. That's against God's law. So what are your thoughts on that, Captain Matt?
Yeah, they've made it very militaristic. And again, these are our public servants, and we have to understand that. We have to realize that, and they need to be held accountable. I mean, for what's going on right now and for what went on in Hawaii. I mean, the investigation shouldn't have been, oh, it started by a single this. The investigation should have been, why was there no water? How are we going to make sure that never, ever happens again? Why were exits being blocked? And this is the exits were being blocked. Here's the failures. Exits were being blocked, and we have implemented this, and this, so that will never happen again. The warning system didn't go, so this is what we've implemented. That will never happen again. Emergency supplies were being denied, were being refused. So with people, we couldn't get in there. All the people had to sneak them in, whatever, and we're dealing with that. I mean, that should be what this meeting was about, of all the failures. But so hopefully things are bad enough to where people are waking up that the government is not the solution. The government is not for us. It's obviously working against us. And we have to recognize it for what it is, as hard as it is for people to grasp their minds around that. Mm-hmm. If you can't see that, then you're part of the problem. And it gets back to, what are we going to do about it? We have to unite, come together, realize that we have to rely on each other, not the government. So
absolutely.
Time and time again. I mean, all three, the Tubbs Fire, Paradise Fire, Maui Fire, oh, how convenient. They were all started by utility companies. Oops, sorry. I mean, it's like you start seeing the same playbook happen over and over again. And I guarantee it, you're going to hear about a lot of, oh, what a great job FEMA did. And
they're already saying that. They're already saying
on this one, when it's, to me, it's hopefully this wakes people up. Hopefully people get in there in North Carolina, the people that are trapped. I mean, I can't think of, I'm not there. Obviously, I'm just doing this all from a computer, not just what I've seen. But if there's people that are trapped, you can get helicopters out there, drop supplies at a minimum, drop supplies and get doctors and nurses and water and food out there, at least to keep people alive. Get it, and make sure that's out there.
Yeah.
So it sounds.
And go against, when they say you're going to be arrested, do it anyway. Do it anyway. And this is a call out to all the people who have signed non-disclosures, who are rescuers, who know something's off, who've seen bodies that are not normal. This is a call out to you guys to stand up. I will interview you guys. You don't have to be on camera. We don't have to say your name, but it is time, because when you sign a non-disclosure under duress, and what you see, that means that non-disclosure is null and void as far as I'm concerned, and as far as doing the right thing for the people around you. So this is a call out to all people who just go against what they're telling you when you know what is right. Do what is right, not what is easy. We're here to do that. And that's why each one of us came to this planet, because this is an absolute war. I really feel it's a spiritual war. And you're right about the government, but I do want to say that we do have power. We have more power than we realize. And that is, I did a website, standtogetherhawaii.com. You can join that, standtogetherhawaii.com. I send out information here on the islands, but also information that's happening around the country. So, Captain Matt, any last thoughts on this? It's quite.
Yeah. So weather weaponization is real. It's been going on for decades, and they're ramping it up. They've been seeing they keep ramping it up, and they call it, it's disguised as climate change. So anybody that's still following this climate change narrative, you gotta come up to speed. It's weather weaponization. Start looking at the patents, start looking at the technology out there, the HARP, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, the NextRad, all the different things they have where they can steer hurricanes. They create high pressure zones, low pressure zones, earthquakes, the floods, all of it. They control the weather. They've been talking about it forever. The NASA war document, Controlling the Weather by 2025. It's all out there. This is the weaponization of the weather, and it's not going to stop as long as we keep feeding into this beast system and don't hold them accountable. So we need to learn. I know Michelle put out videos and talked about taking our rights back and stop feeding into this beast system that is doing this to us. And until that happens, if you want a different result, stop doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And that's where we are. This weather weaponization is going to continue until enough people say, I'm done, I'm not doing it, I'm not playing anymore, I'm not supporting this governmental system, until we take it back under control and they serve us and stop this craziness.
Absolutely. And I do want to do one more screen share on that note, because when you said weather manipulation, this is a video I did with
I use the word weaponization. I don't like manipulation. That's not strong enough.
The circular blue flashes
so
seen in this video.
Pausing. This is Hurricane Helen, and these are blue frequencies that are moving the hurricane. This is from Dan Wigington's geoengineeringwatch.org.
Are frequency transmissions from the NextRad network of transmitter installations, all available signs.
So can you explain a little bit more, Michael? What are those blue clouds looking things?
Basically Doppler radar used to project electricity into the air. It picks up on the shaft that's put in the air by the chemtrails, and so that gives you a greater ability to manipulate the weather, and you can steer this hurricane.
Now watch this, you guys. So this is the pattern of the hurricane.
It's clear that atmospheric frequency transmissions can and do have a repelling effect on air masses, especially if and when the air masses have been.
Go ahead. You were going to say something? Well, I just want to pause out there. They basically put the hurricane, they guided it, and then they let it sit right over North Carolina. And we have proof that they've done this, you guys. So this is happening. They do have US patents. If you go to standtogetherhawaii.com, click on Maui Fire, you can look up the weather modification that they have. They had the Weather Modification Act, and it's all happening, and it's been happening since the 40s. And I believe you were the one that told me about the Popeye, what was it called?
The cloud
Operation
seeding,
Popeye.
that was the Ho Chi Minh Trail in Vietnam, where they flooded out the Ho Chi Minh Trail. That was Operation Popeye.
Yeah. So let's do a quick prayer, and those in North Carolina, we are sending them our prayers right now. So, infinite intelligence of all things, Great Spirit, we know that this is a warfare against the people, and we know that, Great Spirit, you are guiding all light workers, all light warriors, all truth speakers and seekers right now, and we just are sending all those people in North Carolina who are feeling alone and hopeless and afraid. We are sending them guidance from Archangel Michael and all of the amazing angels that are around, that they know that they help is coming for them, that they can believe in you, Great Spirit, and know that they are going to be safe and they're going to be taken care of. And we don't know how this is going to happen, but we believe in miracles, Great Spirit. And we just know that these people who do not value human life, who do not value human freedom, that they are binded from doing any more harm. We call that forth. We call that forth under the blood of Yeshua, who settled the contract, who settled the death contract, that this incredible atrocities, these murders of our people and our children, that they are stopped and the truth is revealed for what it is. And people are standing up together, and we are saying no more. And those people that are being told, don't go help that person, don't go rescue that person, they're just getting in their helicopters and they're going anyway. They have the courage to do what is right, not what is easy, Great Spirit. We just know that the courage to do what is right and not what is easy is within every single one of our hearts. And we are always guided and always protected every time we step forward to what is right. And this madness is ending. This darkness on this planet is ending, Great Spirit, because we choose you over darkness. We choose truth over lies. And we choose the knowingness that we are always taken care of and always guided. And we just send so many blessings to all of those that step forward, all of those warriors who are brave enough to speak the truth. We just send them so much gratitude, and so much gratitude to all the angels and the guides that are guiding us every single step, every single moment of the day. And we get to watch, Great Spirit. We get to watch as things unfold, where these evil demons who call themselves human beings, when they do not value human life, where they are removed from office, either in a peaceable way or in handcuffs or voluntarily stepping down, and they are held accountable for their actions. Great Spirit, we just know we get to watch this show, and we trust in you, and we know that this is done. And so it is. Captain Matt, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your courage and your bravery for stepping forward today and speaking the truth.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. And I really have to run, but thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Much aloha. All right. Aloha, everyone.